from Toast Studios in New York City, it's the Hospitality Hangout Podcast with the restaurant guy and the finance guy. Toast empowers the restaurant community to delight guests.
Well done,
Jimmy,
Schultz.
take us away.
I love it. I get to more formally welcome everybody to the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders of Branded Hospitality Group share some thoughts, some interests, but most importantly, bring folks from the industry, innovators, technologists, and people that are just driving great restaurant brands and donut brands to the hangout and to the industry. My name is Jimmy Frischling, more formally known as the finance guy, and I'll pass it back to Mike.
You never did that before. You never used to. You took my whole intro and you were just like, hey, come on. And now you're bringing the donuts. That's my thing.
You know, you're right. That's your thing.
I know.
You know what? Let me just try that again. My name is Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the finance guy. I'd like to introduce my partner, Michael Schatzberg, also known as the restaurant guy.
Yeah.
We bring technology and innovation leaders, making things happen in the industry we love.
End of conversation. Hey, thanks for that kind intro, Jimmy. And to all those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. And I got to tell you, we are the personalities behind Branded Hospitality. We are the intersection, Jimmy, of capital, restaurants, hospitality, innovation, technology, and donuts. Because, Jimmy, let me tell you something. The magic is in the hole. If you don't know who our guest is, you're going to have to guess. I got to tell you, we have an incredible guest, an incredible show filled with unbelievable knowledge, a lot of knowledge. You know what I love about our podcast, our show, if you will?
Our show.
That when you're done, most people come up to me and they're like, I love your show. You know what they say?
No.
I learn so much.
They learn.
It's becoming, I believe, almost like an educational show. Where they're going to start, I got to tell you, they're going to start... People are going to start listening to this in hospitality schools.
Like the Cornell School of Hospitality.
You laugh, Jimmy, but Cornell has reached out, and they believe that they're now making a lot of their hospitality students getting their MBAs and PhDs in hospitality. Listen to the podcast, because that's how much information they're getting. Don't make this stuff up, but Jimmy, you know what? The first thing that you got to do to be in hospitality, you know what you got to do?
What you got to do?
You got to find a great POS.
Yes.
You got to find a great point of sale system. Anyone who knows anything about restaurants or hospitality,
I'll toast to that.
You will toast to that, no pun intended. And I got to tell you, you got to find a great. And our friends at Toast, they do a fabulous job. I got to tell you, I love it. They have over 185, wait a minute, 186, 187,000 restaurants now? Is that? It's 175 officially, but they're in pipe right now. Another 185,000 restaurants in pipe. If you are looking for a point of sale solution that is easy to use, that the managers love, the guests love because it's easy for payments and feedback and all these type of things, check out toasttab.com. Jimmy, I am loving Toast, loving everything about Toast. I like to eat toast. I like to use toast. And I got to tell you, we got a great show.
By the way, what I love about your enthusiasm for Toast, I know a guy.
Yeah.
He said he would never change his POS.
That was me.
And that guy looks a lot like you.
It was me. But you know what? Because Jimmy, I said I would never change my point of sale because changing the point of sale was such a difficult process. Yes. But when we changed to Toast, and we put 20 stores on Toast just a few years ago, and I got to tell you, the process was so easy, it was so simple, that I said I was wrong.
Yep.
And I love Toast, and I beg any operator out there, if you're looking to switch your point of sale, make sure you check with Toast first, because they make it easy.
Well said, well done. All right, we are very excited for today's episode. Joining us, we have our friend Mr. Chris Schultz, CEO of Voodoo Doughnut. And I think we're going to have a really good time. But before we can bring him in, since our podcast released on Tuesdays, our listeners know we do Trivia Tuesday. I'm going to share 3 factoids about our friend Chris. 2 of them are true. One's not true, also known as a lie. And Shatsy, a little bit further in the episode, he'll guess which are the 2 truths and which is the 1 lie. So here we go.
Last week was tough.
I think this week could be tough. Here are the factoids about our friend Chris. Fact 1. Chris coached an MLB Rookie of the Year. I hope that's true because I don't want to dig in and find out who the Rookie of the Year is.
When you say just MLB, clarification.
Major League Badminton. No. Major League Baseball. Coach.
Okay, well, I wanted to
Major
clarify.
League Baseball. Words matter. Acronyms matter. Initials matter. Okay. Fact 2. Chris ran the New York City Marathon.
Okay, I mean, why can't Chris run the marathon?
By the way, I did. One time. I did it.
don't believe
I sure one time. But I'm not playing the game.
And
That's
after you
true.
did that, were you like, I got to do this again?
I never did it again. I went out a great day. I drank, ate, and everything I wanted. All right, fact 3. Chris watches Judge Judy every night.
I don't think Judge Judy's on the air anymore.
Well, then you might say that might be not true. Although reruns, DVDs, do they have DVDs anymore? No.
Don't waste
Streaming.
DVD.
All right, fact 1.
Putting a DVD
Major
for
League
Judge
Rugby.
Judy.
By the way, that's so good. I hope it's true. Fact 2, New York City Marathon. Fact 3, Judge Judy every night. Remember, stick around to the towards the end of the episode, and you'll get the real story. So by now, Shats, we must be ready to welcome our friend Chris into the episode, right? Like we're going to bring him in now?
We are almost
ready.
We're almost ready.
The patience we ask from our guests.
Well, you know why, Jimmy? Because before we bring a guest in, I like to table set.
Yeah.
I like the table set because, Chris is the CEO of Voodoo Doughnut. Was I not allowed to say that yet?
Oh, you don't have to say that.
Did we say that yet?
Yeah, we said.
Oh, okay. So I like to just kind of prepare everybody listening to understand how
One becomes
the
CEO
of Voodoo Doughnut.
Voodoo Donuts.
No, Doughnut.
Don't.
It's just Doughnut. It's not Doughnut.
That's not donuts. Donut.
Donut.
Voodoo.
Doughnut.
That voodoo.
Yeah, that you do. Oh, well, I wish I had a little. So let me just give you a little bit of informational backstory on our friend, okay? First of all, he started out at 16 years old, working. And I got to tell you, he went to a restaurant of what he thought was going to be his 16th birthday party. It was going to be a sweet 16, if you will, right?
16 candles.
Dad calls him up and says, you're going to come to this great Mexican restaurant and we're throwing a party for you, okay? And he's 16 years old. He is thrilled. He tells all his friends he's going to have the greatest party. He goes to this Mexican restaurant and you know what his dad says?
I love his pop.
Yeah. Welcome to your first job. You're now a dishwasher. So that was how he got his introduction. And it was not a surprise party at all. The surprise was,
I got your job.
I got your job. And by the way, that's a great surprise. That's a great dad.
Great.
That's a great present. He gave him the gift of work ethic.
Yes.
And that is an important gift that I wish every kid would know.
We're going to get into dishwashers.
Worked at various roles as a bartender. Jimmy, you were a bartender. I was at hotels and restaurants. You know what? It was interesting, and we've heard this from so many. No college. College of hard knocks. Once you start dishwashing dishes at age 16, you don't need college. That's teaching you everything you know right there. Am I right?
You're right.
Right there. Went to Starbucks after that, a little company called Starbucks in 96.
Yeah.
Became a manager over there, like so many of our guests that are, big shot CEOs. Was in Starbucks, worked his way up to Starbucks. It was there 13 years. It was his idea for Vente, Trenta. That was his idea. From what I understand, initially it was like large and it was bigger and biggest.
That's not interesting.
No. Chris is like, absolutely not. We're going with these names. Vente, Trenta, what's the other one? Grande. That was his idea.
Tall Grande.
That was his
Vente.
idea. Nobody knows that. He took over at opposite Mod Pizza.
Love Mod Pizza.
Worked there for 9 years. 9 years. He put the mod in pizza. And then you know what happened? Guess what, Jimmy?
I think I know.
What do you think?
I think he did that voodoo that you do so well.
That's
How many times
right.
are you going to say that?
I don't know.
That line from Blazing Saddles.
In 2018, ladies and gentlemen, the CEO, the chairman of the board of Voodoo Doughnut, Mr. Chris Schultz himself. Chris, you look gorgeous. Welcome to the show. I'm sorry you had to wait 45 minutes to get on.
Wow.
How much did I get right?
Holy cow, that was such a lead in. You set the bar so high, now Cornell graduate students are going to be listening to this. And holy cow.
Yeah, it's a lot of hospitality schools.
There's a lot going on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I just saw some money changing hands. Like, is Chris even on the show? Are they just going to keep talking about Chris and never?
Right.
That's really not even here.
Jimmy, we got a lot to unpack with Chris because he's an amazing guest. Has a great history.
Well, thanks for the leading, guys, and thanks for inviting me.
No, we appreciate you being on with us. And again, a big thank you. These mugs you sent in advance are beyond fun. Sent a few winter hats. And I got to say, Shatsy already used one of the taglines, the magic's in the hole. Let me tell you something. Good things come in pink boxes.
I got to tell you.
I'm using that one. Good things come in
I
pink
have a
boxes.
donut. I have a donut with bacon. It's the Baconator.
I think I got white frosting.
So, Jimmy, can we dig into it? I mean, honestly.
Sorry.
Like, come on, let's dig into this.
Shatsy mentioned starting as a dishwasher and that great story about your pop.
Yeah.
We actually, I mean, our industry has a lot of work to do, as so many industries do. But I don't know a more democratized industry than ours, where we've met so many executives who have started out as dishwashers and grown up to become CEOs and leaders of the industry, and it's amazing. So I love that you started out as a dishwasher and now have grown up to be the CEO. We call you are one of our hospitality hustlers, embodying what it means to have a career in hospitality. Can you share what growing up in the industry, how that's engraved in your DNA?
Yeah, sure. So I've never worked another job outside the restaurant business for 40 plus years to age myself. I've never had another job. I've only ever worked in restaurants. And Shotzi, you were nice enough to say that I chose not to go to college. I think college chose for me not to come. I wasn't a very good student. And so with that being said,
You're the student
path
of
for
life.
me was kind of self-written, right? It was a restaurant business or something else. And, for me, I learned early on that feeding people and working as part of a team was something I really enjoyed doing. And although you gave up Friday and Saturday nights while all your friends are out having a good time and enjoying life, I really learned that it was kind of part of who I was, and I really enjoyed it. I worked for some really great managers and leaders along that path, who I aspired to become. And I realized very quickly, like, hey, there is a career here. There's a career. There's an opportunity here that I can certainly grow and stay inside of it. And again, you talk about my time at Starbucks. That was a very interesting time.
I mean, you were at Starbucks for a long time, Chris. What kept you there? What kept you there?
The people, right? I started at 250 stores. I left at 20,000.
Wow. So can we say right now on the podcast, can we say with confidence that Starbucks expanded from 200 stores to 20,000 stores due to Chris Schultz? Can we say that?
He 100x'd it. 100x'd it.
Of course. Listen, you already gave me credit for
news?
naming the Vente and the Grande. So yeah, let's just give myself more credit for
right on.
And I mean, Howard Schultz. I mean, does everyone know that's your uncle?
Well, all due respect,
and that's how you got the job?
I wouldn't be here. All due respect, if he was my uncle, I probably would not be on this podcast.
I'm trying to. What do you mean by that? I'm trying to understand. Are you saying that our podcast is too good for you?
Well, maybe we'd be doing a podcast on a beach somewhere. Where I'd be drinking a pina colada, having my feet massaged, and doing all those great things.
Okay. Fair enough. I agree.
Yeah.
So he's not your uncle. Is that what you're saying? Or he is your uncle?
This is breaking news. Howard Schultz is not
Chris
Schultz's
uncle. No relation.
No relation.
That's not one of the truth or lies. So.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just wanted to check.
That'd have been funny. Yes.
No, that's awesome. I gotta tell you, I love a good. I mean, so you love the people at Starbucks. That kept you there for a long time. And leaving, I mean, you were there for. And you went to Mod Pizza for. I mean, it's another literally 10 years, another career.
Yeah, so I left Starbucks in 2008 during the downturn. I got laid off
after you opened up 20,000 stores for them.
Yeah, right, exactly. Solely by myself.
Like 19,800 because they already had 200.
That's true.
200 to 20,000.
Good point.
But in the group of Starbucks executives founded Mod, they were the original investors in Mod. And so I got a phone call from a gentleman named Jim Alling, who went on to become CEO of Tom's Shoes, was the CEO of T-Mobile, and said, hey, we started this pizza concept. It's never been done before. We have one store in Seattle. What do you think? And I joined that group in one store in Seattle. We grew that when I left to 375 is when I left, including 10 in the UK.
I got to tell you, I mean, here's a note to everybody. Thank you. But tell me, it's Chris. The guy's a rock star. It really. So the moral of the story is, if you have one store and you want to get to 20,000, you're gonna need to be speaking to Chris Schultz. Am I wrong?
I'm your guy.
So how many stores does Voodoo Doughnut have now?
We're at 24 today. I started with 4.
How long will it take you to get to 20,000? Do you think it'll be like next week, next year? What are you thinking?
Yeah, well, the economy's a little different, so probably give me a couple years.
Couple years.
Yeah.
We'll come back in a few years. We'll talk about the thousands of Voodoos.
Yeah, so let's just get into Voodoo and the store, because it's a great name, Voodoo Doughnut. I mean, the logo is cool, the colors are cool. You got, it's just awesome. And I just had a bite of the Baconator donut. I made the name up, by the way. I have no idea what it's called, but I said Baconator. But Am I allowed to say that, or is that someone else's
I
name?
think that might be someone else's, but you know what? We take liberties all the time.
So in 2003, two entertainers, Ken and Trey, right?
Trace and as we call him, I think they said Kenneth, but his name is Cat Daddy.
Yeah, well, I know him very well, so I just go with Kay. Kay and Trey.
Yeah.
Kay and Trey start Voodoo in a Voodoo Doughnut in 2003. They're entertainers. They know very little about donuts, but they know what they like. Because they smoke a lot and they party a lot. They're in Portland and they know the night scene. These guys are club guys, so they know. I gotta have to take a very important call. I gotta tell them no, sorry. And instead of opening a bar and a club, which they thought they were gonna do, they chose to open up a donut operation, right? And they made wacky, crazy donuts, and that's really how it got its start. I mean, even I heard you guys did a NyQuil donut. And the FDA, this is, you'll verify this is true. The FDA, Jimmy, you know what the FDA is for all those listening?
Yes.
That's the Federal Department
Food and Drug Administration.
Right, exactly, that, okay. And they said, you can't do that because you can't have donuts with NyQuil in it, right? So how did the counterculture spirit that these guys did, how did that become a Voodoo's DNA?
Well, as traditional, they were marketers before they were defined as marketers, right? There wasn't marketers back in 2003, but they were marketers. They didn't even know it. So they created this NyQuil donut, which was a donut with a shot of NyQuil on top of it.
That's awesome.
And they started to sell it. They sold it for about a week. And then again, as you say, the FDA came and said, hey, that little warning on the side of the bottle isn't a warning. You cannot put it in food.
Yeah,
and they
I used to put NyQuil in my kids' sippy cups to make them go to sleep.
And
it worked great. It went out for
cheap
bourbon.
My kids have got 18 hours didn't go out. NyQuil in a sippy cup. Hey, for all those parents out there, those the first kid, a little NyQuil, not the orange, the green, the good stuff.
Right, and that's what we used. And like traditional marketers, they went to the local press and said, look what's happening. The federal government's trying to shut down this little donut shop in downtown Portland. And it became kind of, again, before the internet, right? But this really big thing of this, the FDA, the government was trying to shut down two guys just trying to sell some donuts in downtown Portland.
That was probably the best marketing that ever happened.
It was. Along with our NyQuil, along with our Pepto-Bismol donut. We did a Pepto-Bismol donut as well.
I mean, you gotta love the Pepto-Bismol donut. So to eat the Pepto before you get indigestion. I love that. Did you send me one? I don't know if we have one of those. You still do that one?
We don't. No, once again, it's not a recommendation. The FDA came in and said you can't do that. But as the story goes,
the FDA has no sense of humor. I've decided.
But the FDA's got Voodoo Doughnut on speed dial. It's kind of like, wait, what's the donut of the week? Hit the speed dial.
You can't do that.
Hit the speed dial, fellas. Come on.
What about the Ozempic donut? What are you thinking, Chris? I'm just throwing out ideas.
Yeah. Shotzi, I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, put it on my list. I'm just throwing out ideas.
Listen,
if it works, you just give me a recognition.
I'm fascinated by your guys' approach to innovation. You guys are maintaining like 40 different donuts at all times. I mean, wow. And I think you sold over 75 different donuts over the last year. And what caught my attention, though, was the fans. You're embracing your fans to essentially come up with the innovation through your social media channels. And now you've got this Hall of Fame upcoming vote to bring Voodoo faves from the grave campaign. So it's amazing. Can you talk about, people are literally vacationing around Voodoos to get more and more involved with your campaign. How do you balance maintaining, the classic favorites, like the iconic bacon maple bar, not the Baconator Chatsy, the bacon maple bar.
That's what I have here,
yes. That Anthony Bourdain basically said like the greatest thing and put it on the map, like, oh my God, while you're still pushing the envelope with new creations. So how do you balance your classics, but also you want to keep innovating? So how do you balance those two things out?
Yeah, I think the important part is to stay authentic, right? Stay true to who you are. And Voodoo was built on being innovative. And candidly, before COVID, we kind of lost that direction because we were doing well and we weren't innovative. And right after COVID, we realized very quickly we needed to give our teams and people something to talk about. So we went back to who we are, right? Our core of who we are. I think sometimes brands start to get full of themselves, for lack of a better term, and start to think they could do things. We really stepped back and said, what made us popular, what made us successful? And that was donut innovation, right? Doing fun things, being creative. And so we do that every month. Every month we roll a new donut that sits on our LTO, that sits on our shelves for 30 days. That's innovative around donuts.
How many
And
donuts
so,
you gonna have, Jimbo? Wow,
there you go.
I mean, what is that one? Is that M&M's?
And that's the Marshall Mathers.
The Marshall.
M&M.
I love it. I love it. So
That's
so you
good.
do know a lot of the names. You know the names.
You think
Yeah,
you
we
think
have
he's
an
like the
ODB.
CEO?
Yeah. So, but we innovate. We are. It's all about innovation, right? Giving people something to talk about, being fun, being exciting. We have our very traditional donuts, but it's those that you're looking at them now, which really draw some fun to the brand. We have over 250,000 followers on our Instagram as a donut shop, right, with 24 locations.
I love it. What is the Instagram? It's just Voodoo Doughnut? Hashtag?
Voodoo Doughnut.
I love it. Hey, listen, all you listeners out there, start following them right now. Because I got to tell you, if you don't get in now, I don't know if you'll ever get in. You all right? Like I say, what? I don't know. Just an idea.
You think they close out the followers?
Well, no, you want to be in early, you know? I mean, Jillian was following me. Timothy Chalamet had like 4 followers, and all her claim to fame. Is anyone who listens to her now that he's up for like an Oscar for the Bob Dylan biopic? I was following it, 4 followers, and I get 20 million followers. I'm like, all right. You found him. You discovered Timmy. What do you want from my life, all right? All right. It's nice to know. How many followers you have over there?
We have 250,000 Instagram followers.
250,000 followers,
Jimmy.
It's a lot of followers.
So you want to get in under 1 million because once they hit 1 million, you're a follower.
Right.
You want to be a trendsetter.
Got it.
You want to get in early. Listen, nobody likes to have fun more than Jimmy and myself. And I got to tell you, speaking of fun, we have a little game show fun that we like to do. I always think, right? So we made because you guys have been on game shows a lot.
Oh, we have.
Right?
We have.
And I got to tell you, nobody loves game shows more than Jimmy and I and Brandon. I mean, we love game shows. So let's talk a little about this. Jimmy, I'm going to say, do you know what game show this is?
Jeopardy.
Right, exactly. So Voodoo Doughnut was, right, they were on. So I'm going to ask you, here's what the answer is, all right, Jimmy? Let's see if you know it, okay? This is, Alex Trebek, right? May he rest in peace, right? The magic is in the hole is the slogan of Voodoo, an iconic Portland maker of these. Answer properly, Jimmy.
Donuts.
Well, that's not. You got to answer it right.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'd be wrong.
Jeopardy.
I would be wrong. Sorry, I would be wrong.
You get this.
You're right.
Sorry, you can't say that.
Alex, what is a donut?
Yes, Jimmy, that is good for 1,000. Yes, Jimmy. I mean, honestly,
I apologize.
Jimmy.
That was terrible. I'm sorry. I deserve the shame. I'm sorry.
Tell us a little about that Jeopardy experience and how that came about. Did you know? Do they call you? I mean, do they pay you? Do you pay them? What happens with that?
Well, both sides of it, right? I wish they would pay us. No, we knew nothing about it. A friend of mine called me and said, hey, you guys were a question on Jeopardy. And it was to our surprise that we were on Jeopardy. It was about things that are iconic around Portland. And we were on Jeopardy.
I mean, that's awesome.
List.
Well, I got to tell you, and also I just wanted to say, because Jimmy did get it right, that we answered wrong at first, which is the penalty, but he did get it right. There's also a little something. Let's see if Jimmy knows this. Let's see what Jimmy knows, because there was another game show featured also, I mean, and it was a lot. I mean, let's see if you know this.
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. So also you had your 5 minutes of Wheel of Fortune fame. Vanna White, the beautiful Vanna White, visited your original location and made donuts with Trey and the K-Man Kenneth.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
so how did being featured on these game shows help expand your West Coast, your footprint out in the West? And now, you're a donut destination. People from all over the world travel to, you're like, it's iconic now.
Yeah, listen, I think like everything, right? All media is great media. We just became known. We've been operating for, candidly, 21 years in downtown Portland. We've never closed. We only close on Christmas Day and Thanksgiving. We're open 24/7. And so we just became this kind of iconic brand. If you look on any list of the things to do when you come to Portland, Voodoo's on that list. They're number 3 or 4 historically.
Can I ask you a question, Chris? What's the number one thing to do in Portland?
Go to Voodoo Doughnut.
That's right. So that's the number one thing because you said the list.
What is go to Voodoo
Oh,
Doughnut?
yeah.
What is go to Voodoo Doughnut?
Yes, the answer.
I think one of the interesting things they probably didn't share with you is a USA Today article came out about a year ago that Voodoo Doughnut was the most overrated tourist attraction in the world.
Overrated?
We were voted
Who said
overrated.
That? I want names.
USA Today.
Our funniest thing was that a tourist attraction, we're a donut shop, right? And so we kind of laughed at that, right? There's waterfalls and there's some stones in the UK you can go see that apparently better than Voodoo Doughnut. But yeah,
that is an awesome backwards compliment. It's an absolute compliment.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it really was.
Jim, I think is that what I see? What I think it is?
Yes, I was gifted. Clearly, Julie and our partner and director of our podcast bestowed upon me breaking news.
Oh, it's coming in right now, Jimmy. It's coming in right down the wires.
CNBC, eat your heart out. We're breaking the news on Voodoo Doughnut. You're not just opening 2 locations in LA early this year, but I hear locations coming on the East Coast. You're going to Miami, going to South Beach.
Is that true?
Yeah, we are.
And
you're the first to know.
By the way, that's big.
I mean, do I have to do what? So we're the first to know. So it's breaking news.
This is breaking
double breaking news.
Miami with 18 corporate stores, licensed locations. It seems like this is an expansion moment for Voodoo. Talk about driving, this growth, but also, as you said, you're authentic, maintaining that iconic Voodoo culture as you scale.
Yeah, I think it's important that, we did this back, it was a trend at Starbucks. How do you grow big but stay small, right? How do you grow big but stay small? And I think that's an
Can Jimmy steal that, by the way? Can Jimmy take that line?
Can we take that line?
Can Jimmy take that line?
I would do it. I would never do it without attribution.
Yeah.
I would give Mr. Schultz full attribution. Grow big, stay small. I like that.
And I think that's an interesting dynamic, right? As companies grow, how do you stay true to what your core is and who you are, and stay that neighborhood donut shop with just the big pink icon out in front? And that's really a part of who we are and how we're growing, is to really make that donut shop feel like it's local. Right, whether you're in Houston or Austin or San Antonio, although we're out of Portland, how does it feel like a local brand that's growing, again, organically from that marketplace? So Miami, it's our first store in Miami, our first 2 stores in LA. We're opening here in the next 60 days. And, growth could be exciting, growth could be scary, but how do you grow big but stay small?
So, Chris, let me ask you a question. It seems, based on what I'm hearing, you're opening up these shops in what I would call very nice weather areas. Is it, here's what I'm thinking. You are very specifically thinking that I want to open up in places that I want to visit. Is it not true that you want to spend more time in Miami and LA? Is that not true? Is that a fact?
Is it not true that Chris
not,
doesn't
want to
not spend time in Miami?
Is it true you've never been to Miami and you want to spend more time there, and you have now bought a very luxurious condominium in South Beach? Is it not true?
Listen, that would be true, but a year ago we opened in Chicago in December. So I think the correlation, the math doesn't quite.
That's to throw the shareholders off track.
Chris brought the receipts for that question. He opened up in Chicago in December.
That's to throw everybody off.
Yes. Brought the receipts.
Yeah. I love it. So, talking about culture and making your donut shops, the Voodoo Doughnut, feel like you're in a mom pop shop, not a national brand. Let's talk a little about something that makes everything very unique and special. Each location has an ordained employee. What does that mean?
It means that you get married in a Voodoo Doughnut.
So, wait a minute. So you're telling me that people get married in the donut shop?
Absolutely. We do close to 50 marriages a year in all of our shops throughout the country.
And they throw, what do they throw, sprinkles and M&Ms at people?
They do. They throw sprinkles instead of rice. Exactly.
How did this start that people all over are now getting married at Voodoo Doughnut?
Well, we mentioned the NyQuil donut and the Pepto Bismol donut, right, at the very beginning.
Right,
So
right.
it's just a natural, right, lead into doing something uniquely different and something you can't do in a typical one of those institutional donut shops, shall we say?
And you and my understanding is that anyone who wants to get married at a Voodoo Doughnut anywhere in the world, but specifically Miami and LA, because those are your favorite place to visit, you are a licensed, ordained minister, and you will perform the ceremony. True or false?
I will try and be there if I can. If not, one of our team members can do the ceremony. But yes,
What I think I heard you say,
people.
if I may, Jimmy, what I think I heard him say is anyone who wants to get married at a Voodoo Doughnut, Chris will fly anywhere at his own dime to any store and marry you. And all you need to do is buy a baker's dozen of donuts.
What I heard Chris say is that he doesn't. The doors don't close, other than Christmas Day, and
Thanksgiving.
And Thanksgiving. So I imagine, you're out for you're having a good night. You're enjoying the time of your companion. You end up maybe after hours at a Voodoo Doughnut shop, and it's like we can get married.
It's like Vegas.
It's like Vegas.
It's like Vegas,
but cooler.
Yeah, much cooler.
And we can get married at the every hotel has a chapel. I got to tell you, only one donut shop has ordained ministers. That's Voodoo Doughnut.
I got to tell you, what would be awesome? We got to find out when they're doing the next wedding, and we got to fly there, and we got to do that. We got to bring that on the podcast.
To podcast live.
Yeah, live from. We'll do a whole wedding.
All right.
Yeah. We did one yesterday. We just did one yesterday, local here in Portland.
Son of a. Timing is everything. Now, you let me know when the next one is.
All right, before we move on, I want to talk about technology because that is what Brand Hospitality is heavy focused, active investor in emerging tech, particularly in innovation, good for operators. I want to talk about the technology journey at Voodoo. You guys, up until 2019, cash only.
Cash.
Not allowed to do that, by the way, in New York. Can't do that. Not allowed.
Right.
But anyway, that's a different story. Probably not even worth the story. It just is what it is. Then COVID forced rapid digital transformation. And now you're leaning into the digital ordering experience and guest feedback through our friends at Tattle. Cheers to our friends at Tattle. And you're creating these innovative and social campaigns. So how has this evolution changed the business while still maintaining that quirky countercultural spirit that makes Voodoo Doughnut famous?
Yeah, listen, as we all know, we had to get in the 2000s, right? We were taking only cash. We had ATMs in all the stores when I first got here.
I love that.
And it really was limiting, right? We couldn't do online ordering. We couldn't do any call ahead, any third party. And listen, I like to think I was a genius that we did it a month before COVID. It just kind of worked out, right? That we went live with doing that. But currently, we're moving through. We'll talk a little bit about Toast. We use Toast. We're a big fan of Toast. We support it. We believe in what Toast is. And
is that breaking news?
And they came on early on with us.
I love it.
Helped us grow. And it's helped us grow throughout. We use Tattle for our customer feedback. For the longest time, we were doing, live on site. Someone would go in a secret shopper. But Tattle, being the best in the business, right, has helped us really capture information around what our consumers are telling us. I mean, all of us want to know more about our consumers.
Yes.
Everybody in the industry wants to know more about our consumers.
Who's eating donuts? Who's getting married? What's with that?
No, I agree with you, Chris. And guest feedback and loyalty and personalizing these experience, that is such a big part of our tech focus. But as much as you're modernizing your tech stack, correct me if I'm wrong. Schatz and I and the team.
Never been wrong.
Oh, I've been wrong a little bit.
I've never seen you.
Well, I'm not going to be wrong now because despite the fact that donuts came our way, and that was a lovely gift by you and your team, delivering, no, you can't get a Voodoo Doughnut via delivery.
Jimmy, are you telling me that all those people out there listening that want a beautiful box, they're going to have to go to the store?
Go to the store. I'm saying, by the way, the best delivery for any restaurant or operator is the pickup. That's the best delivery you can ever imagine.
You get the best product.
Get the best product, fresh,
hot, it's cold.
So we appreciate and thank you for sending them, and it's great fun, not just on the podcast, but our office is enjoying your awesome donuts. But please, tell our listeners you're not delivering. So you're holding the line. So maybe talk about that just for a moment.
What's the story behind that? I mean, everybody thinks you're probably crazy. I know when
Yeah,
I
I
heard you
mean,
don't deliver, I said,
yeah, I
this
mean,
Schultz is crazy.
well, we use third party, obviously, so you have to be local. But one of the big things for us is that we make all of our donuts fresh in house. So our donuts never travel unless they're going home with you. So we're not using a third party commissary, shipping them to the store, and then someone freshening them up. And we're literally making them in every single restaurant every single day. And
I love
I
it.
think that's important, right? That's an important element of what we do and who we are.
Authentic.
We're not authentic. We're not putting a line that says fresh and hot now. They're always fresh and hot because we're making them
All the
obviously
time.
throughout the day. So
Yeah.
for us, again, your donuts just don't travel unless they go home with you.
Yeah, I love that because, I mean, I'm not going to mention any names, Jim, but we see so many places today where it's just made in the commissary and delivered in the morning. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but, it is kind of cool when you go in and it's like, I mean, Chris literally, it's time to make the donuts. That was Chris's idea.
I was thinking about that.
That was
we could
Chris's
buy that. We
idea.
could bag that. We could buy that expression off of like the Kmart the discount rack because they're not using it, and give it to Chris. But you know what? As Chris was describing this note, that the only way the donut's traveling is if you're taking it with you. I just discovered the secret ingredient that makes Voodoo Doughnut the special shop that it is.
What's
secret
that?
ingredient.
What?
Love.
Oh, I love that.
Love.
I love that. I gotta tell you. You see, that's a nugget right now.
Love. My gift to them. Love. That's the thing. It's fun. It's authentic. It's creative. You know what? They care. They love what they're doing.
Well, you give me any place that. How many people got married at a Voodoo Doughnut?
50 last year.
Yeah.
Can I renew my vows there with Jillian? Should I do that?
I mean, we could do that. We could go out
Down
there.
in Miami? When's the store? Is the store open in Miami already?
Not yet. April.
April. All
All
right.
right, not. I got to tell you, I could do that. All right, I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm taking Jillian. She doesn't know this yet.
Yeah, by the way, do you know if she would?
I'm going to tell her we're going to Miami.
Right, but would you do the vows?
Well, come on, Jimbo. Look at me. Who wouldn't want to marry me a second time? Who wouldn't want to marry me again? I wish I had that Bruno Mars song. I want to marry you. Anyway, Jimbo, I got to tell you, I'd love to just jump into a little hot or not with our friend Chris Schultz, Howard Schultz, a nephew from Starbucks, and we're going to play a little hot or not.
Let's play.
Chris, are you ready, sir?
Yep. Let it
Okay.
rip.
Hot or not, in the food service world, 24-hour dining, hot or not, sir?
Hot.
QR code menus, hot or not?
Not.
Boy, you seem angry now, Jimmy. Coffee as a snack replacement, hot or not?
Not.
Cannabis-focused menus, hot or not?
Ooh, I'm in Portland. Hot.
All right, Jimbo, we got. Let's see, we got 2 hots and 2 nuts.
I want to go with the hots. I want to touch on both hots actually. 24-hour and hot. And I know you're staying open 24 hours. Look, New York's been known as the city that never sleeps.
City.
I gotta say, I'm seeing some sleep. I'm seeing a little sleep.
Yes.
We talked to restaurant operators, that extra turn not happening, that late night menu not happening.
Labor's costing
more. So right now in New York City, maybe we are sleeping a little bit. But you said 24-hour dining, hot. Expand upon it a little bit, what you're seeing, what you guys are doing there.
I think we're building a customer base now with the internet and with all this opportunity to order when they want it.
Right.
And people want it when they want it. Right. And so I think you can set the rules that work for you as a business, but don't work for the consumers. Right. And so many times I think we're building a customer base that if they want something at 3:00 in the morning, they feel like they should be able to get it.
I think what's
And
really
if you're not
important
going to
there
be the
is
one to go to, somebody else is going to do it.
Voodoo's open. And I do remember when I was a bartender way back when my boss said, we don't close the doors until 4 a.m. We're going to close the doors. I could go nights I could go 2 hours without a customer, without a guest.
Right.
Doors don't close to 4. His point was The industry has to know that we don't close our doors at 4. It can't be maybe they're open. I
No,
don't know
you
if they're
gotta be
open.
consistent.
Gotta
You
be
know that.
consistent. And we did build. He was right. Cheers to you, Mr. Joseph Smith. He was right. We
Is that
built the way.
Martell's?
That was Martell's.
Yeah,
Built the
and
way-
you got the
and we got all the industry would come because we were open every night till 4 a.m.
No matter if you're busy or not.
Didn't matter.
Didn't
Couldn't
matter.
close the doors at 4 a.m. And Voodoo opened 24 hours. The group, the people know it. They want their donuts at 3 a.m. They know where to go.
I know, but I went there on Thanksgiving to get donuts for the family to bring.
Closed.
I was so upset. I told everyone at my Thanksgiving dinner, I'm like, guys, I'm bringing dessert. Don't worry. No pies. No, I'm bringing dessert. I went to the Voodoo Doughnut. Closed.
Funny thing happened, Shetsy. I did that on Christmas.
And you went on Christmas
Closed.
too. Don't anyone bring anything. I'm bringing the Christmas. And yeah, I mean,
We picked the
that
2
was
days.
the only
We picked
downside.
the 2 days a year.
Worst days.
Real quickly though, cannabis infused. I believe this is happening. This is a natural coming together for the industry. You happen to be in Portland. You're on the cutting edge. I imagine of that
You
trend.
had to have had a pot donut at this point, right?
So why don't you share with us a little bit about this fusion that's coming or is here?
We candidly have not done it yet.
Ooh.
Only
Shock.
because we're also
How many
endemic,
times do you want the
right?
FDA to call these guys?
NyQuil, Pepto-Bismol, Ozempic, but they never did a pot donut?
Yeah, we're actually in Denver as well, and Denver and Portland are probably the two, right, for lack of a better term,
Leaders.
hot spots for pot.
Yeah,
right?
without a doubt.
But again, we operate in other areas like Houston and Dallas and San Antonio where it's not legal. So I think you walk that fine line between when you do and when you don't. We haven't jumped off the curve yet, but
Not
don't
legal.
think we haven't talked about it. We haven't discussed it. We haven't tried some of it to try to understand what's next and what's coming. I've also been a big believer in you don't always have to be first, just don't be last.
Yeah, I like that. Jimmy, write that down.
That's a good one.
What was Bob? What was from
From Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights?
If you're in first, you're last.
Yeah.
Right.
There's second.
Right.
There's
And-
third.
but that's right. Yeah, but I think in the restaurant business, like so many things, whether it's pricing or promotions, you don't always have to be the trendsetter, but certainly don't be last.
Well,
Right,
I got to
keep
tell
your eyes
you.
open
Yeah,
and see
I
what
agree,
people are
Chris. And I just want to say, as you look towards these marijuana pot donut, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. That as your culinary development team wants to think about these and need some feedback, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring. I would like to try these donuts.
Of course, you're first on the list.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. I want
You
to
go
try.
and do your vows, and he'll get you that. What'd you say? Marijuana pot donut? Like you
I didn't know.
I
I
both words.
was trying to be medical
All
in
right.
one hair, and I was trying.
How about the cannabis marijuana pot donut?
No, I don't know what it is. But Jimmy, you know what? We're gonna try. By the way, we're gonna try a new game. Well, it's not new. It's not new for us. It's
Still
all
working on it.
yeah. What is this?
This feud. This
Yeah.
food service.
So
feud.
we've tried this a few times. It hasn't been the greatest segment, but we're gonna try to get it. So
Some people keep
Well,
trying.
let's try to get with me. Go
We're
ahead.
gonna get it better, okay? And we're gonna pay fast money on the feud with Mr. Chris Schultz, son of Howard Schultz, founder of
son.
the
I don't
youngest
have
son
to before.
of Howard's 5 children. He is the youngest son of the CEO and chairman founder of Starbucks. Chris Schultz. Okay, here we go. So fast money. I am turning off Jimmy's. Jimmy's going into the silent room.
What?
Right? Silent room. Right, Jimmy, can you hear me? What? I'm going to turn you off now. I'm turning off Jimmy. I am going to ask 5 questions. All right, fast money. Okay, and I want you to try and get the number 1 answer. Are you ready, sir?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay, and then I'll ask Jimmy, and we'll see. And what we're trying to do is get 200 points, because we have 200 points. We win big money, big prizes, and thanks to Voodoo Doughnut, we are donating 10,000 donuts to Chris's favorite charity. Nothing wrong with that, right?
What?
Right.
Yeah. Jimmy can't hear me. I forgot. Jimmy can't hear. Jimmy can't hear. I forgot. All right, here we go. Let's put the timer on the board. We have 30 seconds. Oh, no, 20 seconds. 20 seconds. I don't remember what it is, but you got something on the board, okay? Name a topping people either love or hate on a donut.
Bacon.
What makes a donut premium?
It's made fresh in house.
Name a reason people buy donuts.
They're hungry.
Name a place where people name a place where people buy donuts.
Voodoo Doughnut. I'm guessing we'll get a lot of points there.
Yeah. Name the most popular type of donut.
A glazed donut.
Okay, all right. Excellent. With time to spare, Mr. Chris Schultz has gone through. I am going to bring, in a minute, I have to add this up. I've added it up. Mr. Chris Schultz, I'm going to bring Jimmy in. He's done amazing. Jimmy, you know the game. We have to get 200 points. We have to get 200 points. You're going to get a little bit more time. Chris did an amazing job for the team and the family and the charity of Chris's naming, which is a big one. It's a big one. It's a good one. I'm going to ask you the same questions. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Chris got 133 points.
Ooh.
All you need, Jimmy, is 67 points.
Say, just don't screw it up.
Just don't screw it up.
Got it.
Honestly, you need 67 points.
Got it.
I'm going to give you 10 extra seconds, Jimmy.
Got it.
If you get the same answer, you're going to hear.
So if I get the same answer, that's an add, guess another name.
And then
guess another answer.
get something else.
Okay.
Just like Family Feud, because I know you've never seen this. I am Richard Dawson.
I think we got the game going. I think we got it right.
I think we got it right.
Let's do this.
4 times. Okay.
Yes.
Here we go. Give me 30 seconds. 30 seconds on it.
Yes.
Name a topping people either love or hate on a donut.
Sprinkles.
What makes a donut premium?
A named candy, like this one with M&Ms on it. Named candy.
Name a reason people buy donuts.
They're with their kids.
Name a place where people buy donuts.
Voodoo Doughnut. That's what. Sorry. Dunkin'.
I mean, that's a donut shop, isn't it?
You said the name of the place where people buy donuts.
Sorry. Dunkin'. Okay, sorry.
I mean, I know Chris would like the answer.
Well, I just thought that was generic. Okay. Name the most popular type of donut.
Glaze. Plain.
Okay. All right.
I'm supposed to say good answer.
Good answer.
Yeah. Come on, get into it. Good answer. All right.
Good answer.
All right, here we go. I gotta tell you. Let's see how he's done. On the first one, name a topping people either love or hate on a donut. Jimmy said sprinkles, and the zero. The number one answer was bacon, and Chris said bacon. Okay.
Zero for
We asked what makes a donut premium. Jimmy said
named candies.
Named candies.
Oreo. M&M.
Zero. The number one answer was special filling. Chris said fresh, which was not there either. But we had special filling, unique toppings, size, handmade, fancy box. Name a reason people buy donuts. You said
with their kids. With kids.
Zero. Chris said hungry. And that was a good answer. I don't know the number, but it was good. Name a place where people buy donuts. Jimmy said Dunkin'.
Dunkin' Donuts.
The number one answer was Voodoo Doughnut, and Chris said Voodoo Doughnut.
What was number two?
Number two was grocery store, gas station, a bakery, and a coffee shop.
You know who's not going to sponsor this podcast?
Dunkin' Donuts. And Jimmy, all you need is 67 points to win. Name the most popular type of donut. Jimmy, you said plain. The number one answer was Clay's. Chris got it. I gotta tell you, unfortunately, I'm very, very sad to say.
I feel so bad. Chris got 133. I couldn't come up with 67 points.
This guy brings you to water.
Yes.
All you needed to do was drink.
Oh, like fall over the line. Like it's like one of those like moments in the NFL, the tush push.
I'm just giving Jimmy
just a little tush push.
I am so embarrassed now. I gotta tell you. Well, listen, Chris, we got $133 for the Frischling Schultz family, and we're excited that you will be leaving the show with $133 instead of the grand prize of $50,000 and a big thing. Anyway, that was awesome. It worked out well, but I got to tell you, we got to move right because we're running out of time. We got to get right to Jimmy's favorite thing. Let's go to Trivia Tuesday.
Trivia Tuesday, 3 factoids about our friend Chris. Fact 1, Chris coached in MLB, Major League Baseball Rookie of the Year. Fact 2, Chris ran the New York City Marathon. Fact 3, watches Judge Judy every night. Chatsy, what says you?
I say Chris watches. I can see him watching Judge Judy. Why can't he watch that?
You can watch Judge
I'm
Judy.
not sure that's not a compliment. Okay, go ahead.
I don't think Chris ran the New York City Marathon. I don't think he ran the I mean, I gotta be honest. The guy was working at Starbucks for 25 years. Guy never had a day off. His grandfather founded the company, Howard Schultz. There's no way Howard was giving him any time off. He had no time.
All right, and then we're going to, but you're absolutely locking in on the MLB Rookie of the Year. That was Chris. He coached him.
No, I'm changing my answer. I say he never coached the Rookie of the Year. He never coached the MLB Rookie of the Year.
So that marathon, he didn't run? He did run it.
He ran the marathon. He watches Judge Judy. Okay. He did not coach. He had nothing. I see no baseball anywhere in. Yeah.
I'm particularly enjoying the show. Usually I don't get to guess. I'm saying he did coach an MLB Rookie of the Year. I'm saying he did run the New York City Marathon.
The answers.
No, I don't know the answers. I say he did run the New York City Marathon. I say Judge Judy? No, he doesn't watch it every night. No,
really?
No.
Well, I gotta say, he has insomnia, and that makes him full of stick. You don't know that.
It's a good thing we have Chris on the show. He can tell us what happened.
Yeah, I'm dying to hear this.
I did not run in New York City Marathon.
You gotta stick to your first guess. Always stick to your first guess.
Not run the experience. Okay, MLB Rookie of the Year.
Talk to us.
Yeah, Corbin Carroll, who's with the Arizona Diamondbacks. One of the things I do in my off time, and Schultz, not a lot of it. I helped coach a select baseball team. I coached Corbin for a couple of years, who now is a very good friend. Was rookie of the year, Arizona Diamondbacks. Shout out to Corbin Carroll, great guy.
That is absolutely awesome.
That is awesome.
Then Judge Judy.
Every day like clockwork. If you
Really, Rain Man?
Every single
Does it Rain Man? What did he watch? He watched Wander. Right?
She's just like, I don't know. There's something about her common sense and the way she speaks to people.
Nothing wrong. By the way, it's always been one of the highest. By the way, she was like the highest paid person on TV for years.
She was.
She has $100 million.
Like, my wife's like, we've seen this episode. I know we've seen it, but wait, she's gonna tell him something. You know.
You like the tone. By the way, do you have, or is there any chance that a Judge Judy inspired donut could make its way into Voodoo Doughnut?
You're dropping gold here.
I'll get a cease and desist. We get a lot of those. So
yeah. Us too, by the way.
We get a few cease and desists around here. We try different things.
By the way, Family Feud sent so many. I decorate my my kids' room as wallpaper.
That's why we're always changing our address. Always changing our address. We moved 8 times this year just to keep those cease and desist letters at bay. You know. All right, listen. I got to tell you, I think that the feud went well. I think the match game, though, I had the right answer and then I left the right answer. I'm upset, but I like the information. Yeah. And I got to tell you, we have we went over 1 minute, but we have one last thing to do. We have to brand the quickfire. It's the last thing to do. Jimmy, can we get the quickfire in?
We have to get the quickfire in.
All right, here it is. Chris, are you ready? Brand the quickfire.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Chris Schultz, CEO, chairman. Voodoo Doughnut. 10,000 stores by next year. Getting to 20,000 in 2 years.
He's going to 100X it like he did
Howard Schultz grace.
100X.
Howard Schultz nephew. He's somehow related to Howard Schultz's son. All right. Favorite place to travel?
Oregon Coast.
Most used app?
Toast Now.
Wait, what?
Toast Now?
Oh, wow. Look at this. He's checking out sales.
Nice shout out.
I didn't even pay him for that. Huh? Yeah, there's a little something extra in that envelope or something. Who's your number one artist on Spotify right now?
Anything Yacht Rock.
Yacht Rock, very hot.
Yeah, it is. Yacht Rock is hot.
Documentary?
I'm doing like country.
Loved it. Documentary.
What's your Uber rating right now, Mr. Chris Schultz?
I'm a 5-star, of course. I'm a great.
Can you show us that? We've never seen a 5. Can you show us a 5-star?
No. But you're a 5-star. It's like a secret club. You can't tell other people about it. It's like the Fight Club.
Yes.
I'm telling you
Fight Club.
I can't
talk about Fight Club.
We've never had a 5-star, Jimmy.
They've never shown
us. We've had a 4.9.
4.9.
Why can't we see it?
It's like the Fight Club. I can tell you about it. I just can't show it to you.
Is that right? So we don't really know. 5-star.
Chris, is a very honest guy. Look at him.
He is. I agree. If you were to challenge Jimmy or I to a game of Red Rover, remember Red Rover?
I do.
Red Rover, let Shatsy come over. Who do you better odds of beating, Jimmy or Shatsy? Red Rover, let Shatsy come over.
Red Rover, let Jimmy come over.
Oh, why is that? What's wrong with Shatsy come over? It sounds good. Doesn't it sound good?
Yeah, I think Jimmy sounds pretty good.
It does?
Yeah, I think it does.
Jimmy, you're crushing me on the on that aspect, the challenging. Right? Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, it's just past the hour by 3 minutes. We promised the marketing team over at Voodoo Doughnut that we'd have him out off the hour. Jimmy, we got to wrap this baby up. Anything you want to add before we let Mr. Chris, because he got to make donuts tomorrow. He's got donuts coming for tomorrow.
Look, Chris, thank you so much. Not just for the treats you sent the team here, the mug, the swag, and the donuts. That was really special. And you're zhuzhing hospitality from across the country, and thank you. If any of our guests would like to get in touch with Chris directly, you can email the podcast team at podcast@brandonstrategic.com. We'd be happy to connect you with Voodoo Doughnut. Super excited to see your growth plan opening up in LA, opening up Miami, and beyond. Big thank you, Chris, for joining us and having some fun and letting us do our thing. You're really a great guest, and you're an authentic individual, my friend, and you're a hospitality hustler. From dishwasher to CEO, Shatsy, that nothing defines the hospitality hustlers more than that.
I gotta tell you, I think next week, by the way, Liz Williams, CEO of El Pollo Loco, I believe another hospitality hustler, will be joining the hospitality hangout. Where, by the way, Jimmy? Insiders go to hang out. By the way, Jimmy, I missed a very important part. I missed our commercial break. We'll have to go back and do that on that, okay? We were supposed to take a commercial break. Yeah. But, yes, Liz Williams was she started out as a server over at Checkers.
Nice.
So it's another hustler to the hospitality hustlers.
Love the hustlers.
We're super excited. Anyway, I got to tell you, we got to let this guy go. So to everybody listening, thank you for tuning in to the Hospitality Hangout. If you haven't already subscribed, check us out on Spotify, everywhere else. If you want to listen to your podcast, YouTube, check us out. And also, the Hospitality Headline. Go to www.hospitalityheadline.com. It is the greatest newsletter of the year. You said that already?
No.
Saying it again. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Chris.